I looked out of the window of my studio office a few days ago and saw a Sparrow Hawk had caught a big fat wood pigeon down the garden and was tearing the feathers out of it. And by the time I went and I was able to locate my video camera and get it organised, the wood pigeon had somehow got away from the Sparrow Hawk but gone onto the paved patio area by the side of the house, and the Sparrow Hawk had landed on top of it. So I started filming from there. All sorts of bird noises were going on in the background because they are magpies and knew that something was happening. Sparrow Hawk's busy looking round, wondering what's happened, because it's not in an open space at the side of the house, so it's being very wary. This is a female Sparrow Hawk, I think. She's the biggest out of the two. The male is smaller than her, as I understand it. But she didn't seem to me all that much bigger than the wood pigeons she'd caught. I'm filming this, wondering what's going to happen. What'll happen next? Will the pigeon get away? You can see how the Sparrow Hawk, hope this isn't too detailed for anyone watching, but it seems to hold down the pigeon's head on the ground, and it's trying to turn it over to get at the underneath of the pigeon. Pigeon's well and truly still alive at this point, but it doesn't want to get turned over, so it's just trying to keep itself as low as possible, probably while its head's stuck to the floor by the Sparrow Hawk's claws. Just part of the cycle of life as I see it. Sparrow Hawk has to eat. I wouldn't mind, but when I first saw it, there was enough feathers down the garden where the Sparrow Hawk had first caught this wood pigeon. It's still trying to get at the feathers around its neck. Again, apologies if anyone finds this too detailed. You can see the wood pigeon's head is well and truly held down on the floor by the Sparrow Hawk. If it can keep its head on the floor, it means it's got control of the situation, I would imagine. Pigeon makes a bit of a determined bid to try and escape again here. It's trapping itself further and further in towards the house, side of the house and the garage. And in a moment they tend to disappear from view where I'm filming them. So here I went downstairs to see if I could have a look out the side window, and something must have frightened the Sparrow Hawk off, maybe even me coming down the stairs and being a bit too close to the side window. But there's one sorry looking wood pigeon there. I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe nature has a way of making these animals and creatures survive or not survive, whichever the case. And I thought, well, I'll just leave it. The Sparrow Hawk's gone off. I'll see if it picks up. If it doesn't, I might have to pick it up myself and get rid of it. So I just left it to its own devices. When I looked next time, it appears it hadn't done too well. It had obviously flown away from the place it was in, but the Sparrow Hawk had been waiting for it. And this is about 20 or 30 minutes after I'd last seen the wood pigeon, or just left it at the side of the house. And here the Sparrow Hawk's getting its Christmas dinner a day or two early. A little bit gruesome for those that feel that way, but it is life. It is unusual for me anyway, here in the city, Liverpool, to see this sort of thing in your back garden. Lovely looking bird, the Sparrow Hawk, but the male has got more blue on it, I think, and it's a bit smaller than her. He catches the smaller birds, the blue tits and maybe even a blackbird or two. It was strange, once the Sparrow Hawk had flown away and left it, I just thought, well, I'll leave the carcass there in the garden. Maybe the foxes, if they come looking for anything, they'll take the carcass away. But the Sparrow Hawk returned for 2 days on the trot, twice a day, to feed off that carcass. But when I looked this morning, the carcass had totally gone. So I take it that either the foxes or some other carrion had taken it away. Here the Sparrow Hawk had flown away from what it was eating and had taken something up into just a nearby tree, and was finishing off his meal. It's not like you just see them flying around, and so it must have travelled in from somewhere. But there are quite a few wood pigeons around the houses here. Needless to say, that often reflects on our cars sometimes, so I don't have a great deal of pity for them, although they're nice birds. And again, I wonder if she's got a mate, whether he'd have come and fed, or maybe they're just by themselves at this time of year, who knows. There is a big park nearby, maybe a mile in bird flight, which is quite vast, so maybe it lives somewhere in there and it's just come looking for seeing some easy pickings. It was very strange. We noticed that once that had happened, we didn't see one pigeon flying around for about 2 days, so they were all in hiding somewhere and steering well clear of the area while the Sparrow Hawk was around. So as she's finished off her meal, and I just let her go, I just filmed the carcass that had been left. That was like that, and she fed off it for the next 2 or 3 days in the garden. There you are.